What's your take on who is going to be in Atlanta at the end of the year? What's your prediction there?
Well, speaking of Ty Simpson, I think he'll be there with Alabama. And of course, I mean, like I said, we're all bowing down to Texas, so I'll give it to Texas. I think it's Alabama. I think it's Texas and Atlanta, and I'm going with Alabama to win it all. I'm putting a lot of faith in Kalen DeBoer. I was not impressed with him last year. Every
Right.
big game he won, he seemingly turned around and lost one he shouldn't have.
Another Duly Noted podcast comes to you from the Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point.
Okay, and welcome into another Dooley Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Dooley Dome Gator Studios. Have a fun show today. Mike Bratton's going to join us. SEC Mike. He has a great podcast. He was at SEC Media Days. We'll get a bigger feel for what exactly happened there. I'm looking forward to talking to him. We'll have Coach Spurrier on Monday, and then the following Thursday, our good friend Darr is going to join us. We're doing a little quid pro quo. In other words, I'm going to be on his radio show out there in Oklahoma, and then he's going to come on here. So that'll be fun. I always love talking to Darr, who was a big part of SEC Media Days, if you saw any of that, doing interviews. So that's our plan this week. For those of you, I'm sure very few of you were wondering about my colonoscopy. Everything went good. We had a little polyp. It got snipped out. Everything's fine. So I know you want to make sure I'm still coming back for more podcasts. No, but everything went good. Obviously, the Monday prep is not fun. We know that. I mean, it's anybody who's been through it, it's just about as miserable as you can possibly feel. But then at the end of the day, you get a clean bill of health, you're ready to go. All right. I still, very important for everybody to make sure you do this. I say starting at 50. All right, let's get to our Royal Blues starting five. My friend Randy Royal doing such a great job over there, Royal Blue Yacht Sales. I was talking to him. He is selling a lot of yachts. But if you want to get involved with him, just give him a call. He knows what he's doing. And actually, I think he's in Key West this weekend trying to work out some deals there too. So he's a go-getter, man. I'm looking forward. We're going to see each other, I think, in about a week and be able to maybe play some golf. The other one got postponed. Anyway, let's get to our Royal Blues starting five. And the number one thing to me right now, as I sit here today on Thursday, is that I'm ready. I am ready for college football. I'm ready for football of any type. It is so, I mentioned this at the quarterback club on Tuesday night, that Ozzy Osbourne had passed away that day, and certainly sad. Ozzy Osbourne's legend, that, and has nothing to do with that stupid show that he did, but he was an innovator and everything. But we are riding a crazy train because at one point Sunday, I think it was, I was flipping back and forth between flag football, women's rugby, and I think cornhole was the other thing. That we are ready for football. And look, Florida got its last OTA, and I think yesterday, or maybe it's today. I don't know if it's yesterday or today, but it doesn't really matter. And then they have some time off, just a few days, go home, let your family know I'm going to camp, and we're ready to go. It is funny, though, that we call these now OTAs for college football, and that's an NFL term, which everything's heading towards the NFL. The big thing is practice starts Wednesday. I think there's a little media day type thing Tuesday, and I'm going to try to go to that. I'm excited. I am ready for this season to get started. And look, a lot of it is Florida. There's a part of me, and actually my wife and I were talking about this last night over dinner. There's a part of me that doesn't want football season to start because I'm worried about what it could end up being. I'm worried that it can end up Florida not getting off to a good start and lose some of these games, and all of a sudden there's hot seat, and I'm getting calls from different shows, and they're saying, who's the next coach going to be, like I got last year. But I'm just ready to get started, though, because I can't worry about Florida. I will talk about Florida more than anything else, but if it's not, I can't do anything about it. I can't. I really can't. I guess maybe I could give them, if I won the lottery last night, I never checked my tickets. Maybe I won the lottery. Maybe I'll give them $1 million. They can buy more players. I don't know. But there's really nothing I'm going to be able to do about it. But the key is practice starts Wednesday. And so it starts. To me, that's the beginning of, when everybody says that media day is the start of football season. No, the start of football season is when you start practicing. And that's when you install and you get better. It's a very, very important fall practice. You guys all know that. They need to come out of it healthy, and they need to come out of it. And everybody's gonna make this big deal about Anthony Richardson, and I've gotten to a point where I'm just almost frustrated by all the comments about him and his health. He's fine, okay? We've told the story about what's going on with him. He had an injury, a groin injury, and now he's fine. And he couldn't throw it because of the groin. So it's fine now, though. Everything's cleared up, and he's throwing. He's doing great. He could get hurt during the season, but you know who else could? Trey Wilson could get re-injured. Dallas Wilson could get hurt. Jake Slaughter could get hurt. Miles Graham, Tyreek, I can go on and on. Anybody could get hurt. I'm not worried about DJ Lagway's health. I'm worried about getting through fall camp healthy as a team. And that's the most important thing to me. Because, like I've always said, only bad news comes out of fall camp. Now, some people argue with me and they say, oh, there's good news. They were talking about how great this tight end's looking and this guy's doing this. I go, that's coaches telling you what they want you to hear. And that's fine. That's what they do. And sometimes, look, I go back to what Billy Napier said this year about how this is the best team he's had. He said the same thing last year, pretty much. He really liked the team. He really liked what he had put together in year 3. Didn't start off well. 1 and 2 start and 2 terrible, terrible losses. But we'll see if they can get off to a better start this year. That's the big thing, especially. Look, there's no way getting around these 2 games they got to go to at LSU and at Miami back to back. Then you get a bye, and then you got to play Texas. So and then at Texas A&M. Those 4 games are brutal, and they will kind of define this season. I mean, everybody last year, the back end of the schedule defined the season, but only because it was a good definition. Sometimes you don't like the definition, okay? I mean, that's the bottom line. So anyway, let's move along to number 2 on our Royal Blue starting 5, which is that because talking season is pretty much over, I would say, right now. Yeah, it's over. Although there's still, the ACC and the Big Ten, I don't know if they've wrapped up, because they do it in 2 days, I think, the ACC does. They just knock it out and get everybody in and out, and it's over. So they may be over, too. I think they do end today. But that's all over. Now it's list season. So we've seen 1 million lists in the last couple of weeks, including a list RotoWire put out of the all-century team of the last decade in the SEC. And there were 3 Gators on there. And I'm like, well, Florida did have a lot of really good players during that decade. Well, Tebow was on there. No big surprise there. He was the quarterback. Marquise Pouncey, he didn't screw up there. He certainly deserves to be on there. And Joe Hayden, and he deserves to be on there. However, there are a couple other guys I think probably do. But then you look, like Percy Harvin not being on your all-century team is a bit of a joke. But then you look at the players that made it instead, the 3 receivers. It was Jamar Chase. I can't even remember them all, but they were really good. I mean, you go, who are you going to knock off? But still, you had to find a way to get Percy Harvin on that list. I'm sorry. But that's the thing. It's hard to do those things sometimes. It's hard to get it right. And again, you're putting the list out because you want people to talk about your list, which I just did. Welcome to my world, RotoWire. And that's something that, the other day I just saw this one. I was on ESPN. Mascot rankings. Albert didn't make the cut, but he was doing it. It was Ryan McGee, I like Ryan a lot. He was doing it based on categories he had. So look, Albert's, I think in the top 10 for most recognizable athletes, wouldn't you say? I mean, mascots. I think he'd be in the top 10. Absolutely. I mean, see, I would go live mascots. I would probably go, well, Ralphie's my favorite. So I go Ralphie, the Buffalo, and I would probably go Bevo, Uga, um, Mike the Tiger. Those would be the mascots I have a lot of respect for. Um, and then I'd probably go Brutus and then Albert. I mean, Albert needs to be in there. The leprechaun, I don't know. Leprechaun. I'm the leprechaun. Yeah. That was a movie, by the way. Anyway, that's what's going on right now. Is everybody just making lists of everything they can think of, and that's, believe me, I did this basically as a job for a long time, making lists, just keep making lists. But right now, I'd still make lists because actually tomorrow I have to write a high five, which I do for WRUF, and I'll have that out. I'm not even sure what the category is going to be yet, but I'll come up with a good one, and I do 5 things. So I got lists too. All right, let's move along to number 3 on our Royal Blue starting 5, and that is, of course, ACC and Big Ten. Having their meetings, and everybody's talking about the playoffs. Everybody's talking about what we're going to do, and all I can think about is this song by the Talking Heads. We're on the road to nowhere, and it feels like we are on the road to nowhere, where these sides are not going to get together. They need to be in a room, and because when they get in a room, they even said good things happen when we get into a room. Well, then get into a room. Get a room. Guys, just do it. Get this done. If you want to stay at 12, stay at 12. I have no problem with 12. I'd like to see 16. It means more games. The whole 4-4-2-2-2-1-3 model that the Big Ten wants to put up, to me, versus the 5-11, I think the 5-11 would be better, but I don't think the Big Ten should be guaranteed 4 spots. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure the SEC should be guaranteed 4 spots. They'll probably get them, but with the wide open SEC this year, which is what I see, I don't know that they should be. All these media days are going on, and everybody's talking tough. Thomas Castellanos came out again and said, "I stand behind what I said. They don't have Saban to save him at Alabama." I can't wait for that game. Are you kidding me? That's going to be fun. I can't wait for that. Here's another list that came out. It was the valuations of every brand and their every college football team. So like they do for the NFL. Here's the Cowboys are worth $2 billion or whatever. I don't know what the number is, but Florida was 12th. And so I think a lot of Gator fans go, "What? Harumph. How can Florida be ranked 12th?" Well, the brand's taken some hits. I'm sorry, but it has. You never had, you went this long run of going to bowl games and everything. And then all of a sudden you take hits. Whether it was Muschamp's 4-8 and lost to Georgia Southern. Then it was McElwain giving up on his team. Then it was Mullen giving up on his team. And then it was Napier taking over a mess and not doing well with it, to be honest with you. So, yeah, the valuation goes down when you're not successful. Now, the Cowboys are a different animal because it's the brand of Dallas. And the brand of Florida is very strong. There is no doubt about that. I saw the thing that Maury put out, the head of the Board of Regents, about how I think it was 91,000 people applied to get to UF this year. 91,000. And believe me, that's only 91,000 who thought they had a chance. There was a million out there who knew they had no chance. They didn't bother. It's a pretty big deal to get into the University of Florida. However, valuation based on ticket sales, Tennessee was ahead of them, LSU was ahead of them. They got bigger stadiums. So we'll see what happens there. Who cares, to be honest with you? If Florida wins a national championship in football this year, I don't think they will, but if they do, their valuation goes up. So who cares? What was it in '08? Do it in '08. See, tell me what it was then. Anyway, all right, let's move along to number 4 on our Royal Blue starting 5, which is, as I say this all the time, and people sometimes get mad at me. No good news comes out of fall camp, and the reason I say that is because injuries and other problems happen. Now at Tennessee, they're happening. We all know about the Nico Yamaliva story about him bolting onto his team. And I don't know what's going to happen with this, but Boot Carter, who's a defensive back, special teams guy, was supposed to be a big part of that team this year, 4-star guy. Hadn't been to a lot of things, a lot of activities for the team, whether it's working out or, I mean, obviously they aren't practicing right now, although you are allowed to have some practice. He's just not showing up. And some of his teammates have gone to him and said, hey, man, you need to be here. You're one of our best players. And he's like, so maybe he wants his NIL adjusted. And if it's not adjusted, he may get in the portal. Oh, man, what a mess. What a mess we've made. There's no doubt about that. So we'll see what happens with him. But that is significant. Again, people keep asking me, what do you think's going to happen this year? And what do you think about the Tennessee and the FSU game? That's the next to last games of the year. I'm not worried about those games because I have no idea what Florida's going to look like and what Tennessee's going to look like. Tennessee by then could be a gigantic mess. Florida could be a gigantic mess. Florida and Tennessee may be playing to win to go to the SEC championship game. You never know. That's what makes college football so great. Like all sports, it's unscripted, other than wrestling. So I will see what happens there, but it's an interesting story, I thought. And finally, number 5 on our Royal Blue starting 5. This is another list. CBS did a ranking of the coaches in the SEC, and Billy Napier came in at 11th. Now, he's up 2 spots from 13th. The other coaches at the bottom are all coaches who are on the verge of getting fired. And I don't know what the deal is with Stoops. I mean, he was ornery at SEC Media Days. I don't know if he's really about to retire. He keeps saying he's not. But then there's a story that Kentucky is going to spend almost half of its settlement money on basketball, which I get why they would do that. Florida certainly not. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And because now it does make sense in some ways. Basketball is the main sport up there. There's no doubt about it. But let's say Mark Stoops says, all right, you guys have reduced my revenue, blah, blah, blah. I can't compete. Have another bad year. He says, I'm out. I'm ready to go. I want to go out on my own terms. I want to get out of here. How are you going to bring in a new coach and say, oh, by the way, you only get half of the revenue share? All the other schools are getting 85%, but you only get half. How are you going to bring in a coach? You're going to end up getting an assistant, from somewhere is what you're going to get. But interesting to see this. By the way, Kirby Smart was number 1 on the list, and Sarkisian jumped up to 2nd ahead of Brian Kelly, who's now 3rd. Rankings like that, it's like everything. They're interesting to read. They're interesting to talk about, but they don't really matter. Nothing matters right now. You know what matters? Getting through fall camp healthy, wealthy, and wise. That's what matters. And if you do that, you'll be ready to go in the fall, and let's go play. Let's go, as Billy Napier says, let's spot the ball. He is so fired up about this team. I hope he's right. And I think he's right. But then I look at the schedule and I go, maybe he's not right. And I go, well, look, everybody's got a tough schedule except Missouri. So everybody's going to have to face this. And I don't know. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. That's the great thing. I could give you a dissertation on how Florida is going to go 5-7 and Billy Napier is going to get canned. Okay, I could give you a dissertation on how Florida's going to go 10-2 and they're going to be in the playoffs, and I think they can have an impact in the playoffs. I can do either one of those, and they both could happen. It's just the way it is. Now, I will say this, that the finances of college football have gotten to be so extreme that I can't see a way, to be honest with you, that Billy Napier or maybe some of these other coaches, whether it's Sam Pittman, Mark Stoops, Brent Venables. I think they're going to be good. In fact, Matt Hayes picked them to win the SEC, which I don't see that, but I'm trying to think of the other. Jeff Levy. I mean, only his second year. I can't see him get fired, but I don't think anybody's going to have quick hooks anymore because of all the money you are required to pay out. This $20 million is not a one-time thing. It's going up. It's every year for about, I don't know how many years it is, but I don't know that much about it. Anyway, I'm rambling, so I will stop, and then we will bring on our great guest. Can't wait to see Michael Bratton. Sorry, a little bit of sinus problems here. Michael Bratton, of course, SEC Mike, he goes by on his moniker and does a great job with his podcast. He is Mr. SEC, man, and I'm looking forward to talking to him on the show. And we'll play Yes, No Way, or Maybe with him as well. Then we'll come back with the third segment with all our fun stuff. And we've got a new sponsor coming on, so I don't want to talk about it till it's confirmed, but and we've got another one we're looking at. So, but hey, we've always got room for new sponsors if you guys want to get in touch. You know how to reach me, patrickdooley54@gmail.com. All right, we're going to take a break, and I'll come back with Michael Bratton here on another Duly Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Studios.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
At Royal Blue, we use such tools as AI, bulk email marketing, trade shows, Google search advertising, and multiple websites. We take a much more proactive approach to getting your boat sold in a timely manner. With our extensive client list and broker-dealer network, we can track down vessels that might be perfect for you and your family, that may not even be listed for sale yet, giving you the right of first refusal. We have spent the last 15 years in boat sales, observing and listening to our clients. In response to our findings, we have constructed a custom yacht brokerage that strives to fit their needs and not ours. Call us today to schedule a consultation to see what Royal Blue can do to solve all of your boating needs. Call Randy at 850-974-1294.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, two things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
Adams Rib Company has been a staple of Gainesville for more than a decade and a staple of the Dooley house ever since Kelsey's teeth came in. The first time I walked into Adams, I told my daughter that the green beans are always a test of a great barbecue restaurant, and they were perfect. You know about the ribs that melt in your mouth, and my favorite, the turkey plate. But be sure to go in on Fridays for Nana's Fish Nuggets. They will melt in your mouth. Adams Rib Co., a Gainesville great.
Okay, welcome back to another Duly Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. I am Pat Dooley, and we've got a great guest today. Michael Bratton is going to join us, SEC Mike. He does a great job with his own podcast, and he's got a better podcast set up than I do. Michael, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hey, Pat, it's an honor to be here. I really appreciate you reaching out. And yeah, Pat called me, said, I just want to make sure you're not a guy in your grandma or your mom's basement. And I said, well, I'm not too far from that, to be honest with you. But yeah, we're not there anymore.
Well, you were at SEC Media Days, and I'm curious how that went, because that was, I don't know, everybody I saw was writing about said there wasn't any juice this year. And I know there was the Arch Mania, but other than that, and DJ, I guess, was the other star, but didn't seem to be I watched it a lot, but it didn't really seem to be exciting.
Yeah, and what really sabotaged the whole event, or at least the first day, was the Nick Saban He's coming back thanks to Greg McElroy, which apparently has literally no legs to it. I don't know why he said it. He tried to walk it back, and even perhaps more ridiculous than saying Nick Saban's coming back was I don't know I don't know if anybody caught this, but Greg, he tried to walk it back later that afternoon and said, "Well, I don't know why everyone's making such a big deal about this." I was like, "Come on, Greg, what are we doing here?" But yeah, I mean it's interesting. I don't consider myself a pioneer in any shape or form, but I will say we were one of the first to kind of like bring cameras and lights and all this at SEC Media Days, and now everybody does it. So we were at least able to pioneer that, and it's really SEC Media Days is what you make of it. And you're right. I mean, because I miss 99% of what's said at the podium because we're just interviewing people on our own. They kind of tuck us away in the corner of the entire event, but we have a pretty good time with it. I'll tell you that.
Well, I know you got a lot of great guests, and including my buddy Matt Hayes, who picked Oklahoma to win it all, and that I go, that's not happening, Matt. I'm sorry, but it was, the poll was interesting. I know they don't mean anything, but hey, the reason they put it out and the reason they now wait a day to put it out is to have another day in the cycle. People will talk about it. This is what the NFL model is. Everything's going to the NFL model one way or another.
Yeah, and it's interesting because this time last year, the real question surrounding Texas was how will they be able to compete at a high level in this league? And then by year two, we're just bending over and saying, oh, they're going to win it. They got Arch and this, that, and the other. But that kind of is fun for me. But yeah, you're right. I mean, they have done a remarkable job. We have been wanting them for years to kind of carve a day out in the off season for the schedule release. They've started to do that now. So I mean, they have really taken their cues from the NFL, and I would even throw in they got this upcoming Netflix documentary that's coming out in August 5th, which for some reason features me heavily in it. So that may turn your viewers away, but I promise it's got nothing to do with me. But I have seen the first episode, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely great. Anytime it's like my wife always said, she goes, "Well, I got to go all the way down there, and they're gonna film me for 4 hours." And she goes, "What if you don't do it? You're gonna be watching it, and somebody else is gonna be doing it. And you're gonna go, God, why did I go do that?" So yeah, just like the Swamp Kings and all that other stuff. But Mike, tell everybody a little bit about your podcast and your cast of characters.
Yeah, so a lot of people ask my co-host. We call him Cousin Shane. He really is my cousin Shane. So it literally is. It's a family show. His brother, so my other cousin, he kind of helps out a little bit behind the scenes with just managing things off air. But yeah, so I've worked in the media for about 10 years, maybe a little bit over 10 years, and I just felt like, as good a job as ESPN and SEC Network do, I still thought there was a lot of meat on the bone to cover the SEC. There's people like you, Pat. There's many others that cover, one team specifically and do a heck of a job. But I just felt like there was something missing with league-wide content, and that's what we do. So we bring out a show every day. We try to cover the entire league, not just the teams at the top. A lot of people made fun of us because we covered Chad Morris, Arkansas, as much as we did Nick Saban, Alabama. But that's kind of like was our vow to the fans, and it has really taken off to the point to where I've been able to quit all my jobs and I just focus solely on this. And this football season, we're doing 3 shows a day. So yeah, I mean every year it just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, well, we definitely will want to get you on again during the season and after the season. And we'd like to get you on a lot. And what is the best way for people to go and get the podcast?
Yeah, so we're available. It's called That SEC Podcast. It's available on all podcast platforms. It's the highest rated SEC show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're on YouTube as well. And if you just Google SEC Mike, there's going to be a lot of my face, unfortunately. But that is another way to kind of find me.
Well, and I think you're absolutely right. I think there has been a little bit of a void. And I think when we talked on the phone, I was saying, Tony Barnhart's retiring. To me, that was the go-to guy for SEC stuff. And I feel like I mean, maybe Chris Lowe would be another guy, but we need more people talking about the best conference in America. And I think that you certainly have obviously hit the nerve that you wanted to hit with that, and it's gone really well so far. But I want to ask you though, whether, because I agree with what you said. You know how you guys are out interviewing people. You're not in the big room. I never like to be in the big room. Nobody says anything in the big room. So I would always go around to the other rooms and just eavesdrop and see what was going on there. That one year I followed Tebow to every one. That was cool. Um, but when you got Mark Stoops in your room, did you get? He seemed surly. He seemed like he knew that this was coming. That he was going to $9 million was going to go to basketball and not to football. Is this the end for him?
Oh, yeah, well, I think it should have already been the end for him, quite honestly, Pat. But again, it's a tricky question because he's got a massive buyout, and you just said it right there. They're allocating more to basketball than any other Southeastern Conference school, which they probably should because
Yep,
that's where the fan base is. So, for your audience that doesn't know, his buyout currently is roughly $40 million. I think that'll kick down to about 34 million by December, January, what have you. I don't know the specific date, but is that something Kentucky's going to swallow? I mean, they have literally asked him. I don't know if you've seen this, Pat, but they've asked him in a press conference
Oh yeah.
if he would walk away from his buyout. I mean, he started laughing, and why would he? That's an insane amount of money. And Mitch Barnhart, the AD, he is very clear. He doesn't like paying buyouts. He wouldn't even give one to Calipari. So will this be the last year of Mark Stoops? I think it should be, but will it? That's another story. I think there's a real possibility, Pat. We get to about halfway through the season, and their stadium's 15% full
Yeah.
for conference games, and they got Texas coming in, they got Tennessee coming in. If you have a quality football team, that should be sold out. That may do him in. It really could.
Yeah, and it felt like he had things going in the right direction a couple of years ago, and he had beaten Florida, I think, what, 3 out of 5, something like that. So, but obviously not going well. I wanted to talk to you about quarterbacks in this league because this is a topic that I brought up a lot on our radio show down here, and that is, we know every quarterback in the league now. I mean, there's a couple they claim that there's a battle going on, Joey Aguilar. But I feel like there's not a quarterback in the league that doesn't have some kind of unknown that we have. And that includes DJ Lagway. And it includes, obviously, Arch Manning. And includes even Garrett Nussmeier. What's your take on the quarterbacks in this league? Is this one of the great years for quarterbacks in the SEC? Or is it, I don't know, it may not be.
I think it certainly has the potential to be, and potential is the key word there because of guys like Lenore Sellers and DJ Lagway. I think they are budding superstars that, maybe not household names across the country. Certainly everybody in the Southeast region knows who those guys are, but I think nationally those names are going to get out. And one guy you didn't even mention there, John Mateer,
Yeah.
who I continue to hear so many good things about. And going back to what you asked about media days, the real value to me in media days is talking to people, picking things up. And how about this, Pat? I've been telling everybody because I just think this is fascinating, but it hasn't really gotten out yet. Apparently, Kirby Smart was enamored with John Mateer and wanted to get him. Bill Belichick at North Carolina, the quarterback he wanted was John Mateer. So, again, we're talking, two of the best defensive minds in all of football. We're after this guy, and by all accounts, as he's been at Norman, he has taken complete command of that offense. I think John Mateer could be the breakout star. Arch Manning, of course, everybody knows that. But, yeah, I think this could be and another one, Garrett Nussmeier, very, very good player. I think he's a top 3 quarterback in this conference. I think the Southeastern Conference needs these quarterbacks to emerge because, fair or not, I think the league gets judged by its quarterback play, and it was down last year. I really do believe that.
Yeah, I mean, even you didn't mention Diego Pavia, who just did some amazing things last year, and there are guys all over this league. We'll see how it goes. Who knows if Ty Simpson ends up being great? I mean, I only saw him play one game, and that was at USF, and that didn't go well. So, but it's going to be interesting to see what's your take on who is going to be in Atlanta at the end of the year? What's your prediction there?
Well, speaking of Ty Simpson, I think he'll be there with Alabama. And of course, I mean, like I said, we're all bowing down to Texas, so I'll give it to Texas. I think it's Alabama. I think it's Texas and Atlanta, and I'm going with Alabama to win it all. I'm putting a lot of faith in Kalen DeBoer. I was not impressed with him last year. Every
Right.
big game he won, he seemingly turned around and lost one he shouldn't have. That inconsistency has got to be maddening after the Nick Saban era, but I think getting back his offensive coordinator, getting away from the offseason of turmoil and the portal and an assistant coming and going. I mean, it was a mess last year in Tuscaloosa. Now that these are just excuses, but I think year two we're a little bit more stable. DeBoer's undefeated against Sarkisian. He's undefeated against Dan Lanning. I mean, the guy's a heck of a coach. If he could put it all together, I think Alabama's going to be very, very good on defense. And this is not me saying Ty Simpson's some elite quarterback. I don't think he's bad, but I don't think they need him to be that. They need him to be a caretaker of the football. He is absolutely surrounded by loads and loads of talent. If Alabama is not in the playoff, I think Kalen DeBoer is screwed up once again.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of loving for them, and we're going to talk about Florida in just a minute. Just wanted to tell you that Michael Bratton is coming to you on the Big Mills Cheesesteak Zoom line, and we'll play Yes, No, Wait, or Maybe with him, sponsored by Big Mills Cheesesteak in just a minute. But I want to ask you about Florida, and I mean, they're getting a lot of summer loving, I call it, and I get it. I like their team. I think they've got it all together. The schedule's very, very difficult, but I can see a path to 10 wins if they can play. But to me, and I keep saying this, and I don't know if anybody's hearing it, this is a referendum on Billy Napier this year, because we need to find out if you put it all together and you got everything you asked for, can you coach wins?
Yeah, I like the way you put that, Pat, because I've said Sunday through Friday, I think Billy Napier is probably a top 5 coach in this conference. Unfortunately, on Saturday, I think he's a bottom 5 coach in the conference, and I mean, I can't wrap my head around it. I mean, the ridiculousness of the worst was the special teams, Matt.
Yeah.
Why he went for 2 and then called a timeout and didn't against Tennessee, I'll never understand that. Florida, I think, would have won that game, and that's me speaking as a Tennessee grad. We fear Florida like no one else. So you got to go for the throat there on the road. But that's only one example of many with Billy Napier. I think he does a terrific, terrific job of identifying, recruiting, and developing talent. He's up there among the best in the sport, in my opinion. I really do think that. And I love the team he's got this year. And I would not be stunned, Pat, if Florida makes the college football playoff this year. I really wouldn't. I'm not predicting that because everybody knows how difficult that schedule is, but it's not inconceivable for them to go say 9-3, and even at 9-3 with that schedule, they could get into the playoff.
Yeah, I talked to people about that Tuesday night, and I said, look, you give me the 9 wins. You can't give me 9 wins that won't get them in the playoff. And that's the thing. If you get to 9 wins, you should be in. I know that South Carolina and Ole Miss got left out last year, but there was a reason. I mean, they didn't have that quality of wins. All right, it is time for us to play Yes, No, Where, or Maybe with Michael Bratton. It is brought to you by Big Mills Cheesesteak, street dining done the right way. If you go in there and you say, hey, I heard Michael Bratton on the Another Duly Noted podcast, you get free French fries with your order, and they have the best cheesesteaks. Everything they've got in there is unbelievably good. All right,
Hey,
number
Pat,
one.
does that go for me as well? If I make the trek down for the Long Island game, I'm going to get those fries.
Yeah, well, if you do that, I don't know. Long Island, the Sharks are coming, baby. They got gnashy teeth. They're ready to go. All right, here we go. Yes, No, Where, Maybe with Michael Bratton. Number one, we will have a 12-game playoff next year.
I think so because I think
playoff. I'm sorry.
I think the powers that be, I don't think they can agree to how the format they want to expand it. So I think we'll stay at 12 for the time being. It'll eventually expand, of course, because money trumps all.
Yeah.
But I don't think we get there next 2026, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, look, the whole thing about the SEC going to 9 games, I have no problem with that. All they're going to do is knock out a Power 5 team they would have played anyway. I mean, it's not like their schedule is going to get that much tougher or tougher at all. If you eliminate Ohio State and you pick up Vandy, your schedule didn't get tougher. So I think it's time for that to happen. If that happens, I like the 5-11 model better than the other one, the 4-4-2-2-1-3-9-7-8-2 or whatever it is.
And another thing, Pat, at media days, I mean, I don't know where these coaches were coming up with this, but seemingly every Southeastern Conference coach was upset about the committee, and we got to get the committee right, and they didn't get it right. And I'm sitting here saying, well, SEC wise, and again, I'm the SEC homer. You can't put in Alabama after they just got whipped by an average Oklahoma. You cannot put in Ole Miss when for 3 weeks leading up to Florida they said, hey, we're already in the playoff. All our mulligans are gone, and then they lost. It just didn't make any sense to me. I don't think the SEC deserved a 4th team.
Right. I totally agree with you on that. Yeah, the funniest one was Rhett Lashley, who said we ought to do away with the CFP, and the committee, and that's the only reason they got in. They wouldn't have got. They wouldn't have if they had done it by popular vote. They couldn't even gotten close to being in. All right, number 2 on yes, no, where maybe with Michael Bratton, an SEC player will win the Heisman Trophy this year.
Oh. I'll say yes, because again, going back to the star power at the quarterback, whether it's an Arch Manning, I love Lenore Sellers, DJ Lagway, John Mateer. I mean, there's a lot of star power at key positions in the Southeastern Conference. So I'll say yes on that one.
Okay, and then finally, number 3 on yes, no, where maybe Sam Pittman will be the first coach fired in the SEC this year.
I'll say no, believe it or not. I'm going to go Hugh Freeze, who's kind of like my mortal enemy. Pat, you explain this one to me. How can you trust a man to run a football program, but you don't trust him to run his Twitter account? I mean, that was a mistake from day one. They play Baylor, which Auburn should not lose to Baylor, ever. That's Friday night. It's national televised. That's going to start early. Their first conference game is at Oklahoma, who we've kind of talked up. Now, unless Oklahoma goes sideways, maybe Auburn wins that one. And then their next one is at A&M, who I think could be a playoff team. And by the way, their next one is Georgia. So I think it could snowball quickly on Hugh Freeze at Auburn this season.
I don't know if you're aware of this or not, Michael, but they've got a quick trigger there at Auburn. And they will fire coaches. They will fly planes in to fire coaches. I mean, it's a little different out there in the plains. You know that.
Yep.
All right, man. Hey, thanks so much for coming on. This has been fun. We want to get you on again once we get some games played and we can talk about it and maybe make you a semi-regular, we just get you on every once in a while. And anytime you guys need me to come on, you let me know too.
Yeah, that'd be great, Pat. I really appreciate this opportunity, and it was my pleasure.
Okay, thanks a lot. We'll be back with more of another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios right after this break.
Great food, great atmosphere, a diverse menu, everything made from scratch, plenty of space, and locally owned. These are all the characteristics of a great restaurant, and you can find each and every one of them right here in Gainesville at Ballyhoo Grill. Ballyhoo Grill prepares all of their food fresh every day, from their salad dressing to their award-winning soups. Bring your family and enjoy dinner under the Tim Trebo Tiki Hut while listening to live music. Or if you're running low on time to eat out, they also deliver through Uber Eats, Bite Squad, and Postmates. A Gainesville staple that's been open for over 30 years. Check out Ballyhoo Grill on Facebook or at ballyhoogrill.com.
Hey, let's talk about something that's been a real game changer for many people, including me. BMI TeleMed is one of our sponsors. They're the weight loss specialists and can help you tackle that stubborn belly fat. The kind that usually creeps up once you hit your 40s. Bob Parado and Charlie Gonzalez, two UF-trained pharmacists, work with their medical director to prescribe and deliver the same meds that helped me lose 50 pounds. Yep, 50 pounds. That belly fat, it's not just about looks. It's unhealthy and makes you feel sluggish. Now is the time to do something about it before football season rolls around again. If you're anywhere in Florida, BMI TeleMed, simple online telehealth platform makes it easy. Your weight loss meds get delivered right to your door fast. From my experience, you feel full sooner, eat less, but can keep enjoying the foods that you love, just in smaller portions. Plus, it helps with blood sugar and cravings. Do yourself a favor, head to bmitelemed.com to set up a free private consultation. No obligations, no contracts. These Gators know their stuff. You'll look better, feel better, and be healthier. Visit bmitelemed.com today.
Ho, ho, ho. All the way from the North Pole. It's me, Santa Claus. Oh, I'm here with my friend Steve Spurrier for an amazing Christmas in July offer.
Spurrier's Gridiron gift cards are on sale for 20% off.
Coach, how do they get them?
You can go to Spurriers.com and order a digital card or stop by my restaurant in Celebration Point and pick some up today.
Thanks for being my holiday helper in July, Coach. Hurry, this special Christmas in July offer is for this month only. Ho, ho, ho.
Okay, welcome back to another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. If you want to get into, by the way, the Kira Grace Fund tournament is Saturday, and you can make a call and get in. I just actually paid our entry fee. I'm trying to help out with the tournament. I've got them some stuff. I got them breakfast. I want to shout out to my man, Jason Cole over at Bagel Bakery, who is helping out with the breakfast. He's supplying the breakfast, but he's also giving them a huge discount. And also Adam from Adam's Rib. We love Adam, and he's putting a basket together. I'm going to pick it up, I think, today. So that's exciting. It'll be a fun tournament. I haven't played a scramble in a long time, so my brother's coming over. We'll have a great time. But if you can get in, all you got to do is go to the Kira Grace Foundation website and log in, and you can I think they have 2 spots available right now, 2 foursomes available. All right. And it's only $100, so it's a pretty good deal. And it's at UF. Great golf course. All right. Speaking of Adam and Adam's Rib Co., let's get to our Adam's Rib Co. Gator of the Week. We appreciate Adam so much. I'm looking forward to seeing him, hopefully either today or tomorrow, but I'll see him. And that's always the most fun. Last week was Monday was kind of rough for me trying to find a Gator of the Week. This week was not rough. It is J.C. Deacon. J.C. Deacon, for those of you who don't know, won the Florida Open for the 3rd time this week. And he won it in 2017, 2020, and now 2025. That's pretty good. It does mean something when you can play like that, and he is to stay sharp. He's been recruiting the whole time, but to stay sharp like that and be able to still be that good a player being a golf coach and being any coach is not easy work. It's hard work. You get compensated for it. We all know that, but being a golf coach, you're traveling a lot, you're recruiting a lot, and to stay that sharp. But he actually got into a playoff and won the playoff. I played with him one time, and he wasn't sharp, and he wasn't sharp. And compared to me, he was the best golfer in the world because I was really bad that day. In fact, it was me and him and Emily, the women's golf coach, and none of us played good. We played like 9 holes. And we went, "Can we just quit now?" But that probably I saw him at his worst. He had just gotten here, just was settling in. He's a good golfer. You can go down there, and all these kids see you, and you talk to them. And I guess you're allowed to talk to young 17-year-old kids and go, come to Florida. I know how to play. I'm showing you I know how to play, and I can teach you how to play. And we've got a great golf program. We got Matthew Kress back this year. We're bringing in Noah from Iowa, Noah Kent. It's going to be an awesome year. I can't wait for this golf season. Anyway, J.C. Deacon is our Adam's Ribco Gator of the Week. Well done, JC. All right, let us move along to our Leonardo's and Millhopper quick pick. Leonardo's is a major sponsor of this Kira Grace tournament I'm talking about. Kyle has really stepped his game up for this. It's important to him. And I know that he's the one who asked me to get with Mike Lizardo and work with him on it because he knew I have a little bit of expertise with running a golf tournament. And they are going to do a super ticket, which is cool. Super ticket, if you are having a golf tournament, is the best way to raise money because you have to buy it. If you don't buy it, you can't win because you get a throw and mulligans and stuff like that. But if you have to buy it, and that's just pure money for the charity. So hopefully we can raise a lot of money for that. But anyway, Leo's will be out there. I know they got a powerhouse team put together. I think Tara is playing. I think I'm trying to think who else is playing. As Charles is playing, I think so, and of course Kyle. Kyle's a good player. All right, our Leonardo's at Millhopper quick pick, and look, we're almost at the end of us having to do it this way. But I just got to give you another baseball game. Sunday, Mets at Giants. It's on TV. Maybe you'll watch it, maybe you won't. Mets at Giants, that is your Leonardo's at Millhopper quick pick. We're about to get to the point where we can do football games. In fact, I think Mondays will be the Thursday football game, so we can get to football games. But you know how to send it to me at Patrick Dooley. I forgot my email address for a second. PatrickDooley54@gmail.com. Just send your results or who you think is going to win that game. Mets at the Giants. All right, let's move along to our BMI TeleMed Smart Move of the Week. Our good friends at BMI TeleMed. Achieve and maintain with BMI TeleMed 727-383-1677, the number to call. And you get 10% off if you say you've heard it on the Another Duly Noted podcast. And I will say I am the epitome of achieve and maintain because I've lost a bunch of weight and I have lost a little more and I've been able to maintain it. It's working for me. I can tell you that. But it's also, you have to do other things too. You still have to exercise. You have to still watch what you eat. It's just going to make your stomach feel full. That's the big thing. And if you feel full, sometimes you don't want to eat. Sometimes you still want to eat. I don't know. That's up to you. All right, our BMI TeleMed Smart Move of the Week belongs to the doctors who worked on Reveille. Is it the second, I think? I don't know. Whatever the number it is. I don't really care. But anyway, I love dogs. You know that. I love dogs a lot. Well, Reveille had to go in because he had glaucoma. And when they got in there into his eye, they go, hey, this thing has got other problems, and we think there may be cancer in here. And so they had to remove his eye. Sad for the dog. They said, now this cracks me up. He's resting and comfortable. And I'm like, how do you know he's comfortable? Did you ask him? What did he say? He goes, yeah, I'm good, man. Yeah, my eye's out, though. No, why? Because he's breathing? Anyway, he will resume his duties. One-eyed Reveille. I wonder if he'll wear a patch over it. That would look like he's a tough dog, man. Patch over his eye. Come on, man. I'll bite you. Anyway, to those doctors, that was our smart move of the week, getting in there and saving the dog and making sure he's going to be all right. Again, don't want Texas A&M to win their, I don't know what game it is for them, but it's Florida's, sixth game of the year? I don't want them to win that game. But I'll root for them a lot the rest of the year, and I'll root for Reveille the whole year. Okay. That is our BMI TeleMed Smart Move of the Week, your weight loss specialist. All right, let's move along to Hesser and Kipke. And we'll do the three things, as we always do. We love Hesser and Kipke. Appreciate Jen and Ken for having me over there for their birthday, for Jen's birthday party the other day, Friday. That was fun. 352-339-9920 for all your workers' compensation and family law needs, or www.hklawfl.com. That's how you get a hold of them, and they will take care of you. Believe me, they do a great job. Let's start off with number one on three things with Hesser and Kipke, and that is Elijah Arenas, of course, who was Gilbert Arenas' son, really big-time player. And I don't know how many of you are aware, he had a car accident, and he just got cleared from the injuries he suffered in the car accident. He was lucky to be alive. It was that serious of a car accident. Now, he plays for USC. I probably should have not buried the lead there, but he's a freshman. Unfortunately, this week, tore his knee up during just workouts, and he's out for the year. 6 to 8 months of rehab. you just feel terrible for the kid. He's obviously good enough to be an NBA player, but now he's damaged goods, and he's going to have to come back and show that he can, overcome this. And they do great work, and if you do your rehab, and that's what I've told everybody about knee replacements and hip replacements and everything, do exactly what they tell you to do. Not more, not less. You do more, you're going to hurt it. You do less, you're not going to get recovered. Just do what these are smart people. Do what you have to do. Do what they say. Everything they say, do it exactly the way you're supposed to do it. And you'll be all right, Elijah. We're rooting for you, man. I feel bad for a guy to go through all he's gone through. All right, let's move along to number 2 on our Hesser and Kipke 3 things, which is, of course, that NFL camps have opened all over the place. People are excited in Jacksonville. They're moving Travis Hunter around, offense and defense. They're excited in a lot of places. One place they're a little bit angry, though, is Dallas, where Micah Parsons is ready to bolt on his team, and he wants to get paid, and he should get paid. He's good enough to get paid. He will get paid. Jerry Jones just likes to. Hey, look, if Jerry Jones signed him in the offseason, what would Jerry Jones have to talk about? And then nobody'd want to interview him. Guess what? I saw somebody put this on Twitter, and I don't know the answer to this. They said if Jerry Jones was told this, you can win the next 3 Super Bowls, but during that time, you are not allowed to do any interviews with anybody. Can't go on radio, can't go on TV, be in the owner's box, watch the games, leave. Don't talk to anybody afterwards, ignore everybody. What would he do? And I think it's kind of 50-50 what he would do. I mean, I think he'd have to think about it long and hard because he loves himself. He loves to hear himself talk, but it'll get done. The one with Hendrickson at Cincinnati is the one that if I was a Bengals fan, I'd be more concerned about because they're notoriously cheap. Now, they paid their receivers, but look, I hope they'll pay him eventually. They need to get that done. But we'll see what happens there. But that's what NFL opening a camp is, who's there and who's not there. All right, let's move along to number 3 on our Hesser and Kipke 3 things. And that is that the NFL shared more than $13 billion in revenue. Now, we know this because Green Bay has to report their revenue because it's a public company. The community owns it. So they have to report their overall revenue, and it was ridiculous. It was like 300 and something million, well over 300 and something $1 million. So you got to multiply by 32, and you got the number. But think about that. 13 billion in revenues that they are able to share with their teams. You wonder why everybody wants to buy an NFL team. It ain't to watch them play, and it's not to cheer for them, and it's not to wear their colors. It's financially a bonanza. And it is the way to go. There's no doubt about it. All right, that is our Hesser and Kipke 3 things. Let's move along to this, that, and the other. You know this, that, and the other. One of our favorite segments. We do it every Thursday, and it is brought to you by our good friends at Ballyhoo Grill. Place to go to get, I still say, the best wings in town. It is brought to you by Darr Schackow Insurance for all your insurance needs. The place to go there is no doubt that's the place to go. Home, auto, commercial, and life. And by Notary Joe. Notary Joe will get it done. He is a mobile notary. He will come to your house. You see his phone number up there, 863-990-4884. He'll come to your house and do the notarizing right there. And Joseph Newton is a good dude, man. Notary Joe. All right, it's brought to you by that. The this, that, and the other of today. All right, first of all, the Braves won the first game after the All-Star game. Beat the Yankees. I'm like, yeah, all right, now we're going. Now let's go, guys. I've been waiting for this to start. Let's go. All right. Then they lost the next 2. Then they won the first game against San Francisco. I'm like, all right, a little bump in them. We can get, I'm looking at how many games behind are we? Then the next 2 games, they gave up 9 runs in each game. And I am pretty sure if you give up 9 runs in a game, your chances of winning go way down. I would say they go to about 1%. And I want to give up on them. I'll just check the scores, but it's frustrating, all the injuries they've had. And, I said this a few months ago, actually. I said the first time I feel like maybe Snicker should go. But now I just don't. I think we just got to bail. We just got to bail in the season. I'm not saying I'm going to bail, but I think just play the guys, keep everybody healthy, come back next year, get everybody healthy, do some work. It just doesn't feel like it's going to happen this year. Makes me sad. Um, and that was this, that, and the other. Yeah, the other obviously is those 9 and 9s. They just got me. I don't think I did this, that, and the other correctly, but you know what I mean. This, that, and the other. The this was the Braves won, and I was excited. That was then they lose those 2 games to the Yankees, and then the other is they're done. Done. Toast. Sorry, Braves fans. And look, there's none bigger than me. I love the Braves. That's everybody. The one team that I will say the we with. Now you're not. When you're a journalist, you never say we. You can't say we. It's not part of your vocabulary. My family and I are going to go there to watch the Braves game. They are playing the Cincinnati Reds. Not we're playing the Cincinnati Reds. Anyway, that's the one team I will say we about. I don't say we about Florida. I can't get that out of my system, from being in sports writer, being a journalist for so long. Can't say we for them yet. I think it's coming. We is the Braves. We are the Braves. We. All right. Let's move along to our Gallo Car Wash Sponge of the Week. And our Sponge of the Week brought to you by Gallo Car Wash, the great place to go to get your car done. And, of course, in the hot summer months, great place just to sit back, take your hands off the wheel and your foot off the brake and just let it ride you right through there. It's a great place to go. Gallo Car Wash. Our Sponge of the Week is Isabel Ivy, appropriately enough, because she's a swimmer, and she did really well at the World University Games, which is a big deal. She won 5 gold medals. Now, 4 or more relays, there's nothing wrong with that. That's how you soak it up, man. You soak up those medals on relay teams. But she also got a bronze in another event, so she really did good. So Isabel Ivy, University of Florida swimmer, is our Gallo Car Wash Sponge of the Week. Let's move along to the Gainesville Quarterback Club, and it was great on Tuesday night when we had the GM at the University of Florida. Now they've changed GMs, not changed GMs. They've created that GM title, and he was really interesting talking about things. I tell you what, he was really interesting when I just had him alone. Really had a lot of interesting things to say. Mr. Polk did, and but they've had some changes. Now, one of the things they decided to do, because Billy couldn't come, they got Todd Golden, but they wanted Todd Golden. They want a little more time before it. That's their gala. That's the big one. So that one now is going to be September 30th. On Tuesday night, before the opening of the season, Katie Turner is going to come talk to us again. I love it when she does. She did it a couple of years ago, and she was great. She explains. You'll walk away from that meeting going, oh, now I see. Now I get it. Now I understand what's going on. And again, this is the recruiting part of it that is really going to be fascinating. Can't wait to have her. The following week, it's Alex Brown. That is going to be great. Can't wait for that. Kevin Carter, of course, is coming. Noah Brandeis, Scott Strickland. I think, Will Muschamp, we talked about that the other day. Yeah, it's going to be an unbelievable speakers group you need to join. Come and join the Gainesville Quarterback Club. And you get to hear me every Tuesday night and telling some good jokes, some not. I told one Tuesday night that went, and it was crickets in the room. I thought it was a good joke, but no, nobody got it. I'll tell the club the origin of that story the next time I speak to them, because maybe then they'll think it's funny. Probably won't. It wasn't that funny. All right, let's move along to our Los Landeros Smooth Move of the Week. Los Landeros Tequila, Go Beyond, Urban Meyer and Pat Dooley's favorite tequila. We love our Los Landeros. Our Smooth Move of the Week is this one. It is Pat Narducci at what are they? ACC? I can't remember what league they're. ACC Media Days. Pat Narduzzi, first of all, was in such a great mood. And look, when you see him on the sideline, he is the grumpiest man alive. Alive. He looks like he's mad at everybody and he's screaming and yelling at everybody. He never seems to smile, never seems happy. But he was in a great mood at ACC Media Days. In fact, I'm watching ACC Media Days. I guess it was ACC Media Days. But Tom Luganbill was there with Roddy Jones, and they were doing a live report, and they were talking about the Big Ten or something else. It may have been on ESPN. And all of a sudden, Narducci comes over and gives him a big kiss on the cheek. And it was hilarious. I was laughing. And so obviously he's in a good mood. Then when he gets in the room, he does this. He puts all the pressure on Bill Belichick. He says, well, I think they're going to be in the championship game. I think, what a great, you guys know what the pedigree is, what a great coach he is, Pat Narducci. By the way, North Carolina is plus 4,600 to win the ACC championship. Plus 4,600. Now, the way I understand gambling is if you bet 100, you win 4,600 if North Carolina wins it. To me, if that's true, and I'll double check it with my gambling experts. In fact, we're really trying to get a site. Pardon me? Yeah, that is correct. Okay, Zach is my gambling expert now. But yeah, that seems like a bet I would be willing to make. And it's not hard to make a bet anymore. Just got to have a phone, right? I don't think they'll win it, but it's worth a try. It's like buying a lottery ticket, basically. A better chance of that lottery ticket winning, right? Anyway, so he took the pressure off himself, put it all on Belichick. Smooth move, Pat Narducci. Anyway, I enjoyed that. All right. Let's wrap it up as we always do on the show with our swamp games of the weekend. Again, we're slim picking still, but we're almost there, buddy. We're almost there. We will be in a point where I go, yeah, and here's another preseason NFL game. This one I think would be interesting and blah, blah, blah. And we'll do spreads on games. Oh, can't wait. Can't wait. All right. Let us talk about the Saturday, Dodgers at the Red Sox. Fox 7:15. Yeah, I'll watch a little bit of that. Sunday, Mets at the Giants on ESPN. I said that was on Fox, right? The Saturday game. The Sunday game is on ESPN. Mets at Giants. That's the one that you guys are all picking. On Sunday also on ABC, you have the big Indiana at Chicago women's NBA game. It's like saying SEC conference. I get mad at Jesse Palmer every time he does it. The C stands for conference, Jesse. Can't say women's WNBA. WNBA. Because W stands for women's. All right. It's just a pet peeve of mine. That is Indiana, Chicago. That's at in the afternoon on ABC. And then the Golf Channel, we'll have the tournament, the 3M Classic. Now, a lot of the big names aren't there. However, we got 2 tournaments till the FedEx Cup. So if you want to get into the FedEx Cup, there's a lot of guys on the line. I saw where Gator is like one of the favorites. He and Sam Burns are the favorites. So you can see where the field is. Ricky Castillo might be another good bet. I saw his was, I think it was 4,000 plus 4,000 if he wins the tournament. I don't think I'd bet 100 on Ricky. Ricky's not come close to winning a tournament on the tour, but he's playing on the tour and he's doing really well. And we all know what a big deal that is. It's on the Golf Channel from 4 to 7 the first 2 days, and then it'll be on CBS for the weekend. So enjoy that. All right, that's going to do it. Thanks so much to Zach for doing a great job. Thanks to Mike Bratton for coming on. We'll be back with another show on Monday with Coach Spurrier, and then Thursday with Darr Noka. Cannot wait to see both those people again. Until next time, I am Pat Dooley. I am deep. I am way back, and I am out of here.